Hi guys, in my last video, I took you through how to understand the pattern drafting tools of SEAMLY2D. Welcome to my channel. My name is Enorita James, and in my channel, I take you by the hand and show you how you can transit from manual pattern drafting to CAD pattern drafting. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. If you're looking for a place to learn CAD pattern drafting, if you're looking for a place to learn how you can transit gently from manual pattern drafting to CAD pattern drafting, then this is the channel for you. In my channel, you will see I talk about all kinds of pattern drafting software. I show you step by step how to use them. That is what my channel is all about. Now, if that is what interests you, then welcome to my channel. I've been doing a series on SEAMLY2D open source CAD pattern drafting software. And in my last video, I actually showed you how to use the CAD pattern drafting tools. In this video, we are actually going to use these tools and we are going to create a basic body torso. A torso sloper is a sloper that is from your shoulder to your hips. A basic body block is a pattern that is from your shoulder to your waist. So most basic body blocks, they normally draft from shoulder to waist, but some people actually draft from shoulder to hips, but they still call it basic body block. But we are going to be creating a torso sloper using SEAMLY2D. I have watched a lot of videos on this, and what I realized is that people just go straight and start, using CAD softwares to draft these slopers. And for a beginner, you can become lost. Sometimes you don't even know where did they get the next measurement and all that. My video is about taking people gently, slowly, to get to understand how to use CAD pattern drafting tools. Because for me, when I started learning it, it wasn't that easy. So I take time and I do it slowly. So it's going to be divided into three. The first part of this video, which is this one, is I'm going to explain to you how to use your measurements and then translate it onto this CAD pattern drafting softwares and how to use calculated measurements. If you're using a pattern drafting book, most of those pattern drafting books have their own calculations on how you can use these measurements on CAD softwares. So in this video, I'm going to explain those measurements and I'm going to explain those calculated measurements. And I'm going to be using a book by Natalie Bray. That's the book we are going to use to draft this sloper. So I'm talking too much. Let us go straight to the video where I'm going to explain to you the various measurements that we are going to be using to draft this sloper. We are going to be using this pattern drafting book to draft our basic torso block. And the title of the book is Dress Pattern Designing by Natalie Bray. We are going to be using the section where she writes on how to draft this torso sloper. So this is going to be our final product, this torso sloper. So what I did is to actually simplify it on a worksheet. I simplified all the things that we are going to be using to create this torso sloper. Right here you have and a kind of table of average size measurements, and also calculated proportions that we are going to be using in the next video. I'm going to link this below this video. So if you're interested, you can also click the link and download it and follow along as we are creating our torso sloper. Right here, you have the bust circumference in the first line. You have the hip circumference, the waist circumference, your shoulder to waist front, and so on and so forth. What is particularly interesting is your back neck width. The back neck width is related to your bust circumference. The shoulder to bust, that one is normal, you can measure it. But the back underarm points, that is the extension you're going to give to be able to have your armhole curve on the back part of the pattern is also related to your bust circumference. So what you will do once you have this sheet, just look for wherever is nearer your bust circumference right here. For me, it was this particular one of 100. So I just put my own bust circumference in parentheses. As you see there, I wrote there 98. The hip circumference, I wrote my normal hip circumference, even though we are not going to be needing it. Okay, we are going to be needing it because we are creating a pattern from the shoulder to the hips, a torso block, you know, waist circumference and all that. So all you have to do, just change the values to your values, leaving this as it is, especially this underarm point and the dart width, these two things. Since the dart we are going to be making is a shoulder dart, which I'm going to show you in a little while, this is what we are going to be creating. And we're going to start with the back part. And then in the next video, we'll do the front part. But this video is all about explaining what we are going to be doing, so that when I get to the next video, nothing will be strange for you. The numbers I'm going to be using will not be strange. The measurements I will use will not be strange. This is about I think it is the 5th video on my series on SEAMLY2D free CAD pattern drafting software. There are some videos online on SEAMLY2D, but I discovered that if you're somebody that is new to CAD pattern drafting, some of those videos can be a little bit complicated. That is why I'm taking my time to explain first what we want to do, our end product, and how we are going to get there. And also explain the measurements that we are going to be using to create this torso sloper. So as I said, I'm going to put a link to this worksheet. If you're interested, you can click the link below this video, get the worksheet, so that when we are doing the next video, you will not be lost. You will know where we are coming from and you know where we are going to. We are going to start with a rectangle. And the rectangle is going to be measured 75 to 80 centimeters. It depends on how tall you are. So if you're very tall, you can use 80 centimeters on this side. And then this side is going to be your bust circumference divided by 2 plus 8 centimeters. As I say, I'm always working with centimeters. If you want to work with inches, whatever I'm telling you, you can convert them to inches. So this is a rectangle where we are going to be constructing both the back and the front. Both the back and the front. As you can see here, I chose this Natalie Bray because for me it's a little bit simple. Some of the other pattern drafting books can be a little bit complicated, especially if you're new to it. This is a little bit simple. As long as you know where to draw your basic design lines, your shoulder line, your neck line, your chest line, your bust line, your waistline, and of course your hip line. Once you know where to draw it, every other thing is a breeze, really. So that is why we are using this pattern designing by Natalie Bray. So I've explained that is where we're going to start from. Once you have this foundational block, then every other thing will be constructed based on this and of course your measurements. You can decide to try your hands using any of these measurements on the table. You could do that, or you could do the way I've done it. Look for the one that is nearest your measurement and then just impute your measurements by the side of it, maybe with a biro or whatever, so that you can follow along. The measurements that are calculated, as I said, is this, which is 6, this back underarm point and the dart width, and of course the back neck width, you know. And then this particular one has to do with the point you're starting from when you're doing the measurement. The point you're starting from, this particular one. The very first point, A, on the rectangle. If you're feeling confused, just listen to the video once again and you will understand everything. I will of course repeat everything in my next video where we actually, drafting this using SEAMLY2D. If you've not watched the video on understanding the tools of how to use the tools, I will post that video also below this video because you need to go and watch that to know how to use SEAMLY2D tools so that you'll be able to understand this. Now, this is my measurement set that I inputted in SEAMLY2D. I also have a video where I took you through how to create your measurement sets, how to find what measurement and in what section of SEAMLY2D you can get all these measurements, these particular measurements. So you can get it, watch the video also. I'll put the link below this video so you get your measurements ready, because it is your measurement set that you have in SEAMLY2D that we are going to be using to draft this pattern. Then if you come down here, I also did something step by step on everything we are going to be doing. Step-by-step method on how to create your basic body torso sloper with SEAMLY2D. So you can also follow along. As you know, you read this, you follow along. It makes it easier. I cut down a lot of things just to make it a little bit more simple for whomever wants to learn how to create this torso sloper. So that is all about this particular worksheet. As I said, I'm going to link it below this video so that if you're interested, you can download it and then follow along in my next video, because the next video is all about actually doing the drafting. I hope you were able to understand all the explanations I just did, and I hope you're now ready to actually start the drafting with SEAMLY2D. In the part 2 of this video, I'm going to actually take you through drafting the back part of the sloper. I try to make my videos not too long so that it will not be confusing. So we are going to do the back part first, and then we are going to do the front part in the third part of this video. As I said initially, the video is divided into 3. So this is the first part. So if you're interested in the second part, then stay tuned for the second part of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things on your journey to transiting from manual pattern drafting to CAD pattern drafting. See you in my next video.